and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. And will Mr. Wetmore please lead us in prayer?
By an act of Congress in 1879, George Washington's birthday became a federally recognized holiday in the District of Columbia. In present day, we recognize a national holiday known as President's Day, in which we honor the individuals whom have taken upon the tasks and challenges of the land's highest office. President's Day is a time to remind us that we, Americans, have the potential opportunity and responsibility to be the leaders of this great nation. When challenged with the most difficult decisions, our presidents have taught us that as Americans, our potential might as well be limitless. May we continue on here with our duties tonight. May we embody the same bravery of the presidents, both past and present, must possess in this ever-changing world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran.
Here.
Haddad. Knapp.
Here.
Levy.
Present.
Seabury.
Here.
Stanley. Here. Taylor.
Here.
Kola. Megershed.
Present.
Ellis. Cabo.
Present.
Sadi. Visconti. Wetmore.
Present.
Nero.
Here.
Perkins.
Present.
Genies.
Present.
Otello.
Here.
Skazafava.
Here.
Teichel. Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There being 18 present and 3 absent, let's let the record reflect the following. Councilman Haddad is traveling out of town on business. Councilman Kola is on business. Councilman Hallis is sick with the flu. We wish him a speedy recovery. I also want to take a moment to welcome some fine young gentlemen from Troop 33, St. Joseph's. We appreciate particularly Fernando and Nick for coming up and introducing themselves early on, and they're here earning their merit badge on civic engagement and citizenship. So we wish you the best in your scouting careers, and just want to welcome you to the City Council meeting and keep up the good work. So let's give them a nice round of applause. To start our public speaking portion of the meeting, I just, for the record, want to note 2 things in case any member of the public wants to address them. We always are very happy to hear from you, but I can save you a lot of time. Item 19 has been withdrawn. That is a phosphorus issue. We'll be submitting that in March. We've got some good news to report, but it's just not quite right yet. So we think we'll be nice and ready to report back to you in March on that. Thanks to Council for your indulgence. And then there, an item that is not currently listed on the agenda, which is the more commonly known as the WIC building, will be recommitted tonight. There is language that's been provided by Corporation Council for review, so you're sure welcome to attend the ad hoc committee where they'll review the language, and then it'll be back on the agenda in March. So I just want to give you a heads up for any of those folks that might want to go home with a nice blanket instead of being here, but you're welcome to stay here all you want. So we encourage civic participation. With that, I'll open up the meeting for public speaking. Any member of the public that wishes to address the council must do so about an item that is specifically on the agenda, and also must be a resident and or a taxpayer of the city of Danbury. With that, are there any members of the public that wishes to address the council this evening? Any member of the public? Seeing that, I'll move on then with our events and announcements. Happy birthday to Joe Cavo. Yay! In the house. Good job. There are also, let's see, I think that's the only birthday that we have in the month of February that I see. The present company notwithstanding. We have a number of events that are happening. I just want to point them out to you. Danbury Westerners are having a hot stove breakfast at 2 Steps on February 9th. That's from 8 to 11:30. It's just kind of an addition to their annual breakfast, as you know, which is in the spring, which is very well attended. This is more of an additional fundraising event that they're putting together to help generate enough revenue for this season. The Chili Winter Warm-Up 5K is at City Center Green on the 10th. There's also a cut-a-thon for the Women's Center at Christine Company, which is at 129 Padenham Road. The City Hall will be closed next Tuesday, the 12th. It is a weird week next week. prefer to have closed on Monday, but we couldn't work that out with our collective bargaining unit, so we're going to be closed in the middle of the week in observance of Lincoln's birthday. February 16th, Jack Knapp will be taking his last dip in the Moose Lodge Dip for Charity at Lake Kenosha. Jack, I can't wait to see you in Speedo. Very
Thank
excited.
you, Your Honor. Yes, being it is the last year I was contemplating Speedo, but
All right.
my family convinced me that was a good direction politically to go.
About 5,000 other people.
But I will say that, you know, Tom Sadi, Councilman Sadi jumped in with us a few times. You jumped in with us a few times. We have no minority party representation this year jumping so far. Although I understand the sixth ward, being that the Moose Lodge is in the sixth ward, but
I nominate Mr. Gonzalez.
Mr. Rizzo or Mr. Cheese. So we look forward to a great day. And if I could just put a plug out and a thank you, a plug of course for the DIP, which has gone out for 10 years now. They're going to exceed the $250,000 mark in monies they've raised this year. They're raising between $20,000 and $30,000 a year for our community. All small donations too. It's not like they get big sponsors. It's all $10, $20, and $50 bills. So anybody who could donate, would like to donate, there's 8 charities. Actually, there's 9 now because Newtown has been added to it. So there is 9 charities. If you go on to mooselodge1373.org, it's on the website. And it's a fun day, it's an eventful day. I encourage anybody, if you're not going to jump, please join us over there for just a great program that's run every year by the Moose Lodge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. We appreciate your comments on that. February 14th is a very busy day. There's a lot of events going on, but there is one event in Newtown I just want to mention to you, the Healing Newtown Art Space, which will be presented by the Cultural Alliance of Western Connecticut. It will be at 5 Queen Street in Newtown from 3 to 6 p.m. Certainly a community that needs our support and our love and our compassion as they go through a very difficult time. If you can make that, it would be appreciated. 17th is, remember, the main day. That is at the corner of West Division Street, promptly at 2 p.m. If you get there at 2:05, you will miss it. So make sure you're there. And then February 18th, we are closed for Washington's birthday. March 3rd is the Hort Foundation's annual gala as they begin to raise money. Before we go on with the meeting, I just want to do a couple other quick things. One is I want to appoint the Education Budget Committee. And the members of the Education Budget Committee will be the following. Mrs. Stanley will once again be in the chair, because she likes it so much. Mr. Seabury, Mr. Scazzafava, Mr. Haddad, because he's not here, and Mr. Visconti, because he is always here. So that's the Education Budget Committee. There's a workshop coming up, I believe, and we'll continue to work on that particular one. With that, that concludes the announcements for this evening. Mr. Cutler.
Your Honor, just one more announcement, if I may indulge the council. You slipped the president of the company included in there. It's, I believe, your birthday, February 20th?
Nope.
I believe it's February 20th for the mayor's birthday.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We are pretty well set. I just also want to congratulate, this is for the end of the meeting, but I just want to do it now while we're on a roll. I want to congratulate Dave St. Hilaire and the Finance Department on an absolutely outstanding audit. The audit is with you, right, David? That's in the, we provide copies for all members. Actually, take a look at it, flip through that. I know Mr. Levy was on that committee, remarked about how well organized it was. Probably one of the best audits I've seen in the last 6 or 7 years here. So no deficiencies, no real dings. Mr. St. Hilaire returned a small surplus back to the fund balance at the end of the fiscal year. Bills are paid. This will be another difficult year of managing the budget, but I do want to thank David for literally watching every single paper clip that goes through this department. It does irritate the department head sometimes, but we've got a long view we're trying to do here. We're trying to manage our resources as best we can. So, David, to you and to Sue Kaminsky, Dan Garrett, and the entire team, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. President, may we have the minutes, please?
Your Honor, Thank you. I'd like to make a motion at this time that we waive the reading of the minutes, as all members have copies, and copies are on file in the Legislative Assistance Office.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Negushat. Are there any deletions, corrections, or changes to the minutes as presented? Seeing none, then I'll try your mind. All in favor of acceptance of the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Majority Leader, may we have the consent calendar, please?
You may. Consent calendar for February 5th, 2013 reads as follows. Number 3, receive communication and approve the reappointment of Sean J. Colgan and Kim Patel as members of the Conservation Commission with terms to expire July 1st, 2016. Number 4, receive the communication and approve the reappointment of Paul Kashevsky, Frank Reed, Chad Sinanen, Roberto Perez, Francis Ryan, and John Gentile as members of the Commission on Persons with Disabilities, with terms to expire March 1st, 2016. Number 5, receive communication and approve the appointment of Anthony J. Rivero as an alternate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire November 1st, 2016. Number 6, receive the communication and approve the appointment of Wendy Brisbane as member of the Richard Park Authority with a term to expire February 1st, 2016. Number 17, receive the communication and adopt a resolution authorizing Mayor Mark D. Bowden or his designee to apply for and accept funding from the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. This funding not to exceed $40,528 covers the period of 10/1/12 to 9/30/13 and will assist the municipality's emergency management activities. Number 20, receive the report and approve the sidewalk easement as presented by DXR Holdings, Wallingford Road, pending the necessary documentation from the petitioner, acceptable in the form of content as required by the Office of Corporation Counsel. Number 21, receive the report and approve the easement rights to drain at 14 Ironwood Drive, subject to the receipt of finalized documentation from the petitioner, acceptable in the form and content as required by the Office of Corporation Counsel. And number 22, receive the report of the ad hoc committee and approve it in accordance with the section 2-184 of the Danbury Code of Ordinances, the reestablishment of the Stanley Lasker Richter Memorial Park Authority, Conservation Commission, the Environmental Impact Commission, the Danbury Museum and Historic Society, and the Danbury Main Street Partnership for 5 years through June 30th, 2018, and the Youth Commission for 2 years through June 30th, 2015. And that serves the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Mr. Knapp.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent calendar as presented.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Perkins. All in favor of the consent calendar, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 1, please.
Communication, fill vacancy on City Council. Dear Joe and council members, the Danbury Republican Town Committee voted to unanimously to recommend Elmer Palmer from 9 Apple Blossom Lane, Danbury, to fill the vacancy on the council from the 2nd Ward. Elmer is active. Elmer is an active member of the Danbury community, currently serving as an alternate member of the Zoning Commission. We are confident that with his experience and knowledge, Elmer will be a great addition to the council. Thank you for your anticipated confirmation of the appointment. Sincerely, Michael Sofrenic, Vice Chair of the Town Committee.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, Council? Councilwoman Stanley.
Thank you, Your Honor. It gives me great pleasure tonight to make the motion to accept the DRTC's unanimous decision to recommend Elmer Palmer to fill the vacancy on this council for the 2nd Ward.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Cabo. Any discussion about Mr. Palmer's appointment to the City Council? Mr. Scozzafano.
Yes, Your Honor. I've known Mr. Palmer since he's opened his business over on Hayden Road, Elmer, and he's never been a more gracious, kindly person than I've ever met. My wife has a problem, she has a problem walking, and he's always taking care of us and make sure we get the best seats and everybody gets to work with us nicely. And also, Mr. Palmer lives next to my father. I can't I guess that's a plus too. If they're-
Sorry about that, Mr. Palmer. We know Mr. Scott's involved.
And he's also, I think, planning on some more new ventures, if I'm not mistaken, in Danbury, which will increase our tax revenue, and certainly looking forward to that. Thank you, Mr. Palmer, for running and being one of our first Hispanic representatives, if not the first.
Thank you, Mr. Scozzafava. Any other comments from the dais? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds on Mr. Palmer's appointment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Okay, Mr. Yeaman, would you like to come up and swear in Mr. Palmer? Absolutely. Hold on. We're going to swear you in, boss. And then it's all over. We're going to teach you the secret handshake.
One meeting a month, you do that. One meeting a month.
Only one meeting a month, right?
You, Elmer Palmer, having been duly appointed to the City Council of the City of Danbury, solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge the duties of said office according to law. So help you God.
Madam Clerk, item 2, please.
Item 2, communication, appointment to the police department. Dear council members, I hereby submit for your confirmation the appointment of the following individual to the position of police officer. Mr. Jonathan Contreras, Danbury, Connecticut, is currently attending Minogatuck Community College with completed coursework in forensics and has experience working in customer service, tutoring students and staff. Mr. Contreras also served as a Danbury volunteer firefighter and has certifications in hazmat, first aid, CPR, AED, and mentoring. He also holds a Firefighter 1 certification. Mr. Contreras' current rank on the police officer eligibility list is number 5, and he is currently attending the Connecticut Post Academy. I am confident that the above individual will bring a broad range of valuable skills and experience to the Danbury Police Department and will be a tremendous asset to the department and to the citizens of Danbury. Thank you for your consideration of this appointment. Sincerely, Mark E. Bowden, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Councilwoman Tysholz.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to receive the communication and confirm the appointment of Jonathan Contreras to the position of police officer.
Motion made and seconded by Councilwoman Stanley. Any discussion about Mr. Contreras? He is at the academy, as mentioned earlier, doing just fine. Seeing none, then I'll try your mind on the appointment. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Items 3 through 6 were consent. Madam Clerk, item 7, please.
Communication and Revenue Generation Task Force of Government. Dear council members, one of the most important components of fiscal and financial health is revenue generation from all sources available. I am proposing and intend to establish a mayoral task force that will examine and provide recommendations to assist in municipal revenue generation and creation. This may occur through ordinance creation or revision, adjustments of fee schedules, examination of the state and federal funding opportunities not already utilized, and other measures. Although this office, together with the Department of Finance and others, has engaged in ongoing revenue recognition measures throughout the course of all fiscal years and across all programs, this task force will focus on further measures that may not have been available or examined previously. Members of the task force I will be appointed will include Corporation Counsel, Finance, and others with contributing expertise in area of examination. The membership of the task force will be made available as soon as those appointments are made. Finding and recommendations will be received and presented after the task force has completed its review. Please contact this office if you have any questions. Thank you sincerely, Mark D. Boughton, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Negusha?
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to receive this communication and adopt the recommendation from the mayor to develop a revenue generation task force.
Thank you, Mr. Negusha. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Stanley. Discussion under this item. Mr. Levy.
Well, I wonder, since this communication from you, Mr. Mayor, I wonder if you could elaborate on your ideas on that.
Well, I think we haven't done this exercise in several years, and what I thought would do is we would put together some council members, although not an ad hoc committee, because we, kind of go outside the ad hoc process, because I think we'll need a little bit more time than 30 days. But the idea would be to put some people together, look at the things that we've done in the past, look at our assets, make sure that we are deriving the appropriate amount of income from those assets, and kind of take a look around the state and even around the country and see what are the folks doing as it relates to revenue generation. How best can we look at generating the requisite number we need to manage our budget each year, but not necessarily always doing it through property taxes. That's really the genesis and the idea here. So, everybody's got good ideas on this council, the members of the public, everybody has some input to this, and we want to hear from folks and see what things that we can come up with. And we do have some new systems we're installing right now that we think might marry up very well and lend itself to generating revenue in different ways than we thought possible. So that's the idea. There'll be obviously any recommendations would come back to the council for your final disposition and determine whether or not we want to move forward with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just two comments. I'm not sure if both of them are appropriate at this time or not, but I see a lot happening in our state and our federal government of no tax increases, but somehow we're increasing fees, we're increasing things that we could call not a tax increase, but we're still putting that off onto the residents. And I would not like to see that happen. I know we need to generate money, I know we need to generate revenue, but I don't want to see fees increase and not be able to call it a tax increase. Secondly, I know whether it's appropriate or not, I heard on the radio today that we're looking at, City of Danbury is looking at a 26% increase in healthcare benefits under the so-called Affordable Health Care Act.
That's about right.
And I think it's time that we looked at, is it time for public employees to start looking at taking on a bigger share of their health care costs? I'm self-employed. My wife and I, both 62 years old. We pay almost $1,300 a month in health insurance, being a self-employed person. I'm not asking people, but I think it's time that we look at a time that people take on more of the burden of health care and retirement and take it off the burden of taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Sadi.
Thank you, Your Honor. I imagine that the task force is going to be the venue or the avenue where people can raise many of their concerns and comments on an ongoing basis while the task force is formulating its reports and recommendations to yourself, Your Honor, and through your office and in the budget to the council. But either to you, Your Honor, or through you to Corporation Council, if I understand it correctly, the appointment of such a task force is a prerogative of the executive of your office, of you. You don't actually need the consent of the council, but I take this more as communicating and looking for endorsement of the concept of this. And if that's correct, then the appointment is not, the appointees are something that are within your project. They don't have to come here before us for confirmation, but it is a venue that we could go to as council people to raise our concerns. Is that
And those meetings,
correct?
and those meetings would be public as well, properly noticed, and placed on the city website.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Further discussion? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 8, please.
Communication, City of Compassion. Dear council members, recently I met
Yes, go ahead. What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Knapp.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to refer this to an ad hoc with a representative of the mayor's office and the director of economic development.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. The ad hoc committee shall consist of the following: Mr. Wetmore in the chair, Mr. Curran, and Mr. Nero. Madam Clerk, item 9, please.
Item 9, communication, use of public grounds ordinance.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to refer this to an ad hoc consisting of representatives for the Corporation Council, a representative from the Mayor's Office, Director of Public Works, Director of Parks and Rec, and the Chief of Police. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. Ad hoc committee shall consist of the following: Councilman Seabury in the chair, Councilman Hallis, and Councilman Visconti. Item 10, Madam Clerk.
Communication, request for Conservation Commission ordinance change.
What's your pleasure, council? Councilman Curran?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to refer this to an ad hoc committee consisting of Corporation Council and the chairman of the Conservation.
Ad hoc committee shall consist of the following: Councilman Curran in the chair, Councilman Haddad, and Councilman Chianese. Madam Clerk, item 11, please.
Communication, donation to the fire department. Dear Mayor and fellow members of the City Council, the fire department has received the following donation from Bedokian Research, $9,300. Funds to be deposited in the donations account of 2.6,020. I would ask that this generous donation be accepted at the February 2013 meeting of the City Council. The donation is given to the department to support 6 of our members in attending the National Fire Service Staff and Command Course in Towson, Maryland, in March 2013. This conference, which is presented by the Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute in cooperation with the International Association of Fire Chiefs, will explore current and evolving concepts in fire service management, leadership, and administration by developing critical leadership skills and professional knowledge. If you require any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me directly. Respectfully submitted, Jeffrey R. Harrell, Fire Chief.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Councilman Wetmore.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to receive the communication, accept the generous donation, and send an appropriate letter of thanks.
Second.
Okay. I'll give it to Mr. Rotello because I was looking down that way. Any discussion related to this donation? Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Your Honor. Through the chair, Chief Harrell.
Chief Harrell.
Chief, how will the 6 members be selected and what rank or what is rank?
6 members, the course is command course. It's actually exclusively reserved for command level officers, meaning chief and second and third in commands only. So it'll be the assistant or the deputy chief and the captain of 2 different crews, and those were chosen by seniority because I have 8 of those in those capacities. And then I'm sending training officer Marco Masta, and then myself.
And follow?
Please proceed.
This won't affect the workings of the department as far as, well, not administration, but as far as fire ground tactics or anything. We still have enough personnel.
You mean during the absence while they're at the school? No, not at all. We still have 2 other assistant chiefs, or deputy chiefs, and 2 assistant chiefs, and 2 other captains that'll be here during the time they're away.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Visconti and Chief. Any other discussions related to this grant? This donation, Mr. Curran.
Through the chair to the chief.
All right, Chief.
All right.
Chief, this $9,300, is that just covering the tuition?
Yes, the tuition is $1,550 per student.
So that if you got to replace, you don't have to replace anybody while they're gone?
There will be an overtime cost, and I've addressed this with the finance officer in the process.
further discussion? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. We are at item number 12.
Communication, donation to the Still River Greenway from the Danbury Garden Club. To Mayor Mark Fountain, from Scott Leroy, Director of Health and Human Services. Please find attached the $4,006 donation letter from the Danbury Garden Club towards the Still River Greenway project in support of their environmental stewardship project. It is important to note that in the Garden Club's letter, this $4,006 donation also started with an initial donation from Pitney Bowes Corporation to the Danbury Garden Club. The Garden Club, in turn, is offering this money to the Still River Stewardship Program. Please approve the acceptance of this generous donation to support the continued stability of the Still River Greenway project as described in their letter of support.
Mr. Cottle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that we receive the communication and generously accept the $4,006 donation from the Danbury Garden Club to be used for the Still River Greenway Stewardship Program and send the appropriate letters of thanks.
Second. Motion made and seconded by City Councilman Negasheth. Any discussion related to the Still River Greenway? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 13, please.
To Mark Fountain from Scott Leroy, Director of Health, regarding a $2,500 donation from Branson Ultrasonic Corporation to the Still River Greenway Stewardship Program. Please find attached the $2,500 donation letter from the Branson Ultrasonic Corporation through the Emerson Charitable Trust toward the Still River Greenway project in support of their environmental stewardship project. Please approve the acceptance of this general donation to support the continued stability of the Still River Greenway project as described in their letter of support.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, Council? Mr. Seabury?
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to receive the communication, accept the generous donation, and send appropriate letter of thanks.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Negasheth. Very quick on the draw tonight. Further discussion about item 13. Discussion about item 13. Okay. Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Madam Clerk, item 14, please.
Communication, Danbury Emergency Plan. Dear Mayor and Council members, attached is a Danbury Emergency Plan for your approval. We are required to submit the attached plan in accordance with State Statute 9-174A. We must submit a copy of the plan along with your approval by March 28, 2013 to the Secretary of State. We would appreciate your prompt attention to this matter. Sincerely, Mary Ann Dorn, Republican Registrar of Voters, Margaret Gallo, Democratic Registrar of Voters, and Lori K. Back, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, Council? Mr. Visconti?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to receive the report and adopt the Danbury emergency plan submitted by the Registrar of Voters.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Taylor. Any discussion about the emergency plan? Mr. Simon?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, through you to Corporation Counsel, if they can respond to this, I don't see either the registrar or the town clerk here. If I may proceed. Corporation Counsel, the organic statute that requires the city and the registrars to put this together and approved by the council. If the council approves this tonight and before it goes to the Secretary of State's office, can certain Scrivener's issues be addressed? So administrative items, it's not a substantive change, but some technical things. I know there's just some language, I know this occurs when you're putting together new plans that may have slight inconsistencies or those Scrivener's issues.
If you change Scrivener's issues, spelling, grammar, dates, what kind of things? The reason I ask is because there is a deadline by which the draft plan has to be submitted to the Secretary of State, and if there are substantive changes, those changes would come back by way of amendment, and then be resubmitted to you later. But if the descriptor is changed, literally grammar, spelling, that would be fine. Other than that, it might be a problem.
I'll go to two specifics. One question I had on the second page, the last paragraph, last bullet about ballots speaks to making copies of ballot and bring to polling location if they are needed. This may be absolutely fine, but some council members I spoke with had a question. We just noticed this of making copies of ballots. And if that had been, if I'm correct, a problem in Bridgeport, they actually have to have the official ballots as produced by a particular company under contract with the state. And you couldn't make photocopies, if I understand it correctly. So I have a question about that. First, if you could address that. Are we permitted to make copies of ballot and bring to polling stations, or does that mean just bring copies to the polling location?
The problem with being able to answer the question right here is that this plan was developed in accordance with the model plan that the Secretary of State developed. So while the registrars and the town clerk are authorized to develop a plan that addresses those issues that are in here in general, anything that specific, that's substantive, would probably have to match that model somehow. And we just don't know that. I don't have the model, which the Secretary provides.
It's just the only concern I have is if adopting a plan, and if something like that is, I presume it's correct, or that, again, it may use the Scrivener's error, rather than make copies, say bring copies of ballots. That's an example.
Yeah, remember that it may be a lot less to worry about, because the plan, if you adopt it tonight, will be remitted to the Secretary of State's office, and then it could come back if there's a need for an amendment, we can incorporate that plus some other things. So for purposes of carrying this through, I don't think you need to worry about that. You'll have a second shot at it, potentially, because the registrars might bring it back with additional amendments.
And just a comment, thank you, Attorney Printer. Just a comment, my understanding is that the registrars and town clerks do most of this. Most of these things are part of the handbook and part of statute, but that the Secretary of State is looking to at least have these sort of quick action plans that people can take out a few pieces of paper and know quickly what to refer to. So with that, sort of safeguard, and the Secretary of State would have any comment back, that's fine, thank you.
We are paying for the sins of Bridgeport.
Yeah, we are. I understand this is a Bridgeport follow-up.
We don't have that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. Any further discussion related to this? Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to echo Mr. Sadi's comments. This was something I brought up at our caucus last night, and I don't think it's a problem in Danbury, but I have an issue with bells being coppered, voter identification at the polls and everything else, and I think this is something that needs to be addressed. And before this is finalized, I'd just like to make sure that we understand, the process and the accounting for ballots that are not official ballots. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Any other discussion? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Item 15. Item 15, please.
Communication, request for extension of water and sewer extension for 12 Gladwood Bridge Road.
What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Nickerson?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to refer this request to the city planning and city engineer for reports.
Seeing no objection, that is so ordered. Item 16, Madam Clerk.
Resolution, ratification of cooperative effort of Danbury Hospital FEMA grant. To Mayor Mark Fountain and City Council members from Chief Jeffrey Harold. While reviewing the latest FEMA grant opportunities, I noted that there was a category for research and development in firefighter health and safety. Considering our relationship with Danbury Hospital, I determined they were a suitable applicant for this grant. After discussions with the research team from Danbury Hospital, it was determined they would make an attempt to secure this funding. As a result of these conversations, Danbury Hospital has applied for the grant of up to $1 million for a firefighter cardiovascular health study. The fire department's participation will include the calculation of data for both our career and volunteer firefighters. There will be no co-pays or monetary requirements made of the city. The involvement of the fire department will be through personnel involved with the program. Please ratify this cooperative effort to improve the health and safety of our firefighters and adopt the attached resolution.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, Council? Councilman Levy?
I make a motion that Mayor Mark Belton or his designee, Fire Chief Jeff Harrell, be authorized to collaborate with the Danbury Hospital in application for a FEMA grant up to $1 million for the purposes of research and development programs for firefighter safety and to secure funding for this purpose and to do all other tasks required to further the purpose of health and safety of the firemen.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. Seconded by Mr. Neguseth. Any discussion? Mr. Rotello?
Thanks, Your Honor. Through the chair of the chief.
Chief Harrell.
Chief, the grant is up to $1 million. Would this be more likely spread among several communities, or is it possible we would actually get $1 million, or the hospital would get $1 million just for the Danbury department?
I'm not sure the actual total number, but the chances are fairly high that they will get $1 million if they get the grant at all. There's a certain number of dollars set aside, and it's somewhere around $400 million at the federal level, and they're very limited in the type of grant. So they may get the grant. It may be somewhat less, maybe $750, but chances are fairly good that it would be the entire amount.
If I can continue, Your Honor?
Sure, please proceed, Mr. Rotello.
It says there's no copay or any other issues like that, but let's assume there's a time element and some of your guys have to be at the hospital for a day or 3 days. It's a lot of money. It sounds like a big study, complicated study. If they're out of service for a couple of days, will there be an overtime fee like in the last grant?
No, that doesn't involve, this type of thing does not involve that. The actual idea from the hospital's perspective is to actually have everything happen in the firehouse. So they would happen on duty. There might be like a 10 or 15 minute time frame when they would be doing the, for example, the vitals check, blood pressure check, and that type of stuff, where they might not be actually able to get on a fire truck, but they would not be off duty or taken off duty or have to go to the hospital for any of this.
Did we give it any medications or anything like that?
No, nothing like that at all. What it would be is there's a part of it that deals with physical fitness. They may actually have some of that money set aside. Indeed, some of the money is to be set aside to help us equip the fire department with like rowing machines and treadmills or something to that effect to increase cardiovascular exercise. There's an aspect set aside to allow for nutritionists to visit the firehouse to help with dietary issues. And there'll be an exercise physiotherapist that will attend the firehouse to help the firefighters develop exercise regimens and routines to keep them in physical shape. But it's designed so that it can all take place in the firehouse.
Okay, so if I may, they're going to establish a baseline and then do the program and see the results a year or so later, something like that?
Yeah, and actually it is designed preliminarily to be a 1-year study. The idea is that because we're already involved with the hospital through corporate health, and we do all our annual physicals through that organization, they have most of the physical fitness or physical attributes of the firefighters on record. We can use those to contribute to the baseline study. For example, if I were to do it, I would go in, they would take my blood pressure, my height, my weight, all those vital things, and then they would set up a routine after they determine that I'm too fat. They're going to say, Chief Harold, you need to lose 25 pounds. Here's a physiotherapist, here's some exercises, here's some dietary restrictions, things you should watch out for, cut back on this, that, and the other thing. And then every 3 months or every quarter, every month, they would take certain checks and see how I'm doing. And at the end of that time frame, they would have an idea of how well their program worked and how it works overall to the health and fitness of the fire service. The idea is that this would eventually expand to, it's starting off with career and volunteer in Danbury, but the idea is that HEFCO has also written a supporting letter, so the 10 cities of HEFCO could also involve their fire departments in this or similar projects as this progresses. This is meant to be a 1-year study for R&D through FEMA, but it could continue, quite frankly, forever if it works.
Okay, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Good catch on this grant, by the way, Chief. Nice job.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Item 17 was on consent. Madam Clerk, item 18.
Resolution, acquisition of sewer easement for DePalma Lane. Dear Mayor and Council, please consider and adopt the attached resolution authorizing this office to obtain by negotiation or eminent domain necessary rights for maintenance and related purposes for sewer service in the described and depicted area. Thank you for your consideration of this matter. Very truly yours, Lazo L. Pinter, Deputy Corporation Counsel.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, Council? Mr. Seabury, Councilor
Your Honor,
Seabury.
I move to receive the report and adopt the resolution.
Motion made to receive the report, adopt the resolution, seconded by Councilwoman Stanley. Any discussion? Seeing none, then I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to, I always have a problem with eminent domain. I would just like to, I know we clarified this last night to get into caucus. I'd just like to have it on the public record why this may have to go to eminent domain. If someone from your office or Corporation Counsel can clarify that for the public, I'd just like to have that on the record. Thank you.
Mr. Pinto.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. As you know, we normally don't ask you for this kind of remedy, and we may not even need the remedy if we can try one or two last efforts to get this easement from this party. However, our office has been trying to work with their lawyer as well as the party we need the easement from. They just haven't been very cooperative, silent, so if we can't take the final step for negotiation to get it voluntarily, we do need to take the step of eminent domain. It's not a big deal. People get paid fair value for the easement that they're going to give us. It doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, it provides benefit in that the other people who would be connected to that sewer line will connect in once we get this easement. So it's kind of painless. In fact, the neighbor is the one who's trying to obtain it for us. They were unsuccessful as well, so we're left just running.
If I may continue, it's my understanding that many efforts have been made to contact these people through every possible means, and they have not responded. And it's my understanding that they're connected into the sewer line. They're benefiting from it. And when it was originally proposed, they gave their verbal affirmation to this project, and we just have not been able to contact them or have them contact us. And this is pretty much a last-ditch effort.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
We've tried it in good faith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Taylor. Any other discussions? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. 19 was withdrawn. 20's consent, 21's consent, 22's consent. Madam Clerk, well, item 23. We just want to make one clarification about item 22, the governmental entities. Mr. Cabo, you have the floor.
Your Honor, there was an omission, clerical error in the consent calendar in item number 22, which would also require that to be referred to a public hearing. And we noticed late this evening that somehow got either cut and pasted accidentally off. But item number 22 needs to go to a public hearing. The ordinance change.
Mr. Pinto, is that clarification sufficient to
That's
remedy?
the direction, yes.
Okay, for the record, so the acceptance included a referral to public hearing per our ordinance, which, you know, the entities review always has to go through a public hearing, so. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cabo. Item 23, please.
Ad hoc report, reapportionment.
Anybody want to make a motion to waive the reading? Motion made to waive the reading of the report. Is there any objection to that? Okay, seeing none, the waiving of the report has been waived. Move to the actual items. What's your pleasure, Council, on the reinforcement claim, which I believe both caucuses have been briefed on. Mr. McNabb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept the report of the ad hoc committee and adopt the proposed apportionment plan as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Sadi. Any discussion as relates to this particular plan? Mr. Cabo.
Your Honor, thank you. As most of the council knows, all of the council knows, we were tasked with reapportionment this year. We appointed members of the public to serve on that committee. Unfortunately, despite a valiant effort, they were unable to come up with a reapportionment plan that they could agree on, and this was passed back to the council. We formed a leadership committee, which was myself, the Majority Leader Seabury, Minority Legislative Leader, Majority Legislative Leader Mr. Knapp, Minority Leader Mr. Sadi, and Minority Legislative Leader Mr. Visconti. And from the beginning, in our discussions, our efforts were towards release and non-disturbance to the public and voters in our city. And I would just like to at this time thank the committee members for their efforts in staying with that. And I think the plan that we have struck balances out the city very well. I think less than a 3% deviation in numbers. And I'd like to thank those committee members as well for their hard work and understanding and trying to do the best we could to disturb the peace. So, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cabo. Further discussion relating to the reapportionment, Mr. Sadi.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of the Minority Caucus, just want to echo Councilman Cabo, President Cabo's words, and to thank people for working across the aisles to come up with a very good bipartisan reapportionment proposal. I think the committee report, as well as Mr. Cabo's words, sum it up. As little disturbance as possible, conforming with the census, with the U.S. Census, and a very small deviation. While we can't go into details of what streets were moved here and there, it was on the margins for the most part. There were a few larger census blocks moved, but as I understand procedurally, this matter will, once voted on here, go to a public hearing, and those maps will be available for the public to review.
Yes. We did have fresh maps for council to review. Move those down and print more of those out. Absolutely, that's the process. Mr. Seabury.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to take an opportunity to enlighten the public, if they're concerned about this through the TV. If people were moved out of various wards through this reapportionment, they will be notified by the registrar of voters' offices, and that they are in a different ward and where they will be voting, so that's just set their minds at ease. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilman Seabury. Further discussion. Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to echo Councilman Sadi's words that this was a very strong bipartisan effort by everyone that was on the committee, and we really, I think, came up with a great job, and I just like to thank everyone for their cooperation.
You're welcome, Mr. Visconti. It's a regular group hug up here, isn't it?
Enjoy it.
It's all good. Just one. Further discussion. Further discussion. Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. I don't. The motion was to adopt and refer to a public hearing. I just want to make sure that we have that correctly. Mr. Benjamin. Well, I'm sorry, this doesn't go, the ordinance goes to finance. Yeah. So we proceed with our normal ordinance process. Next month, we'll have an ordinance that will be drafted defining the actual boundaries with the streets listed in like we've had in the past. That'll get referred, that doesn't need to go to the committee, that'll be referred directly to public hearing. So it's just consensus, public hearing.
It'll get to the whole.
Committee at home, yeah. Just want to make sure of this process. Mr. President, Department reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that we waive the reading of the department reports as all members have copies, and copies are on file in the legislative assistant's office.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Negerson. Discussion of the department reports. Seeing none, I do want to congratulate Chief Baker. I looked at the total numbers, all the numbers are in now for 012 and 011, and crime was down last year by significant amounts, so nice job, Chief, and please congratulate your staff, patrol, your detectives, the whole team that makes it happen. So great job on ensuring the safety of our residents, Chief. We much appreciate it. Good job. Mr. Perkins, your report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a quick comment to the Public Works Director. Thanks for putting together the Elmwood Park post and fence area. I mean, you and I had a conversation a while back about some of the things that we need to get that thing back together. And I drove by the other day and I noticed that it was done, so appreciate that good work. Hopefully we can get some more parks that look just like that in town.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Any further discussion? Sorry, inside. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll try your minds in acceptance of the department reports. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Cabo, for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. As most of you know, in December's meeting, I placed on the table WIC property on the end of Main Street. It needs to be brought back up in the next regular scheduled meeting, which would be tonight. We were hoping to have our information that we had requested from Corporation Council, which I found out that it is available to us. We just have no mechanism to get on the agenda tonight. So because this item may not have been called back on the table or off the table. So at this time, I'm going to place the WIC property back, take from the table, and I'm going to refer it back to the recommitted to the original ad hoc, so that they can properly disseminate this information and come back to the council in March with a recommendation.
Second. I just want to reiterate the committee that'll be recommitted to, assuming that the motion passed. That's Councilman Knapp in the chair, Councilman Wetmore, and Councilman Chianese, which I believe, was that the original committee? I'm 99% sure. Okay. So we have language that's been drafted, as I mentioned earlier. You guys will review the language, report it back out to the council for an open at both March. Any other discussion been seconded by Mr. Sadi for recommitted? I think we need a motion to take from the table first. Right. So, right? I probably gave a little too much.
Second, so we use second to take
Right.
from the table.
So all in favor of taking this item from the table, please signify by saying aye.
Taking doesn't need any, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. All in favor of taking from the table, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Got that? So we just had a motion to take from the table. That was promulgated, that was raised by Mr. Cabo and seconded by Mr. Sadi. Now, Mr. Cabo, can you make a motion to recommit to?
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to recommit the WIC property from the December agenda back to its original ad hoc.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Negashek, because he was allowed it. I think we've just had a discussion about why we're doing this. I reiterated who the committee is for the record. Any other discussion about this particular motion to recommit? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. I also want to just point out that it's the legislative assistant's birthday on February 16th, I think. Is that right? Yes.
You want to go for a swim?
I want to again welcome the scouts that are with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed having kind of a view of how your city government operates. I know city council will be here immediately after the meeting. If you have any questions or anything you need to fill out or anything for us to sign. Again, we welcome you here. And everybody's going to Elmer's for free dinner. So, sorry, Elmer, I had to go. I'll extend all committees and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second by Mr. Sadi, second by Mr. Cabo. All in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Good morning. Chief Harold, Danbury Fire Department here. I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about disposal of ashes, either from your fireplace, your fire pit, or your charcoal grill. Unfortunately, many times during the year, improper disposal of these ashes has resulted in fires, both in Danbury and other areas. So we would like to remind you of a few key points. Never ever put ashes in any kind of a combustible, or in the case of plastic, a meltable container. Although the ashes may feel cool, ashes often harbor a few hot spots.
and these can indeed burst into flame when unwatched or put away in a place unsafe. For example, on several occasions in the city of Danbury, we've had ashes put into cardboard boxes, paper containers, or plastic barrels. These have been placed outside, seemingly safe. However, the heat builds up, fire reignites, and often on a wooden deck or against the siding of a home can result in a fire. So please, use a proper disposal container. This means metal implements to move the ashes, a metal implement to carry them, such as a bucket or a covered container, and remove them entirely from the home or the garage. Put them outside, not against the building, far away from anything else that's combustible. By doing this, you will ensure yourself, your family's safety, and the safety of the neighborhood. Thank you very much for listening.